go ahead and get started into these questions. And the first thing I have for you is just if you could speak a little bit about your career path into the position you currently hold, as well as what you currently do in your position now.
Yeah, I'm Chief Executive of the British Red Cross. I've been 10 years as CEO. I started my professional life in 1975 as a commercial solicitor. I was working at one of the big city law firms here in the City of London, advising huge companies on takeovers and mergers and that kind of thing. I then took a partnership in a firm in East Anglia, the eastern part of the United Kingdom, again working as a lawyer specialising in takeovers and mergers and commercial work. And having done that kind of work for about 10 years or so, I just realised that I wanted to do more than help big companies get bigger. And so I started looking around and eventually found my way into the voluntary sector via two great philanthropists here in the UK, both sadly dead now, Sue Ryder and Leonard Cheshire, both of whom ran really quite large organisations for providing nursing care to people who had disabilities or were very sick with things like cancer or motor neuron disease. I worked for them for 5 years. I gave up my partnership in the law and took a huge reduction in salary to go and work for Sue Ryder and Leonard Cheshire. I did that for 5 years. Then I joined the Red Cross for the first time and spent 5 years as Director of UK Operations here in London, part of a new management team charged with modernising the organisation. After 5 years doing that, I became Chief Executive of one of our big cancer charities, Macmillan Cancer Relief, where I was for 6 years, a very large, successful charity, working quite closely with our Department of Health to improve cancer services in the UK. And it was as a result of my work at Macmillan that I was knighted by the Queen for services to cancer care. And in fact, shortly after that, I got the call to come back to the British Red Cross as Chief Executive.
Wonderful. So yeah, it sounds like it's been a very interesting career path for you to bounce from
I've had a
sectors.
fabulous career. I've been incredibly lucky. You know, I really enjoyed the intellectual challenge of being a lawyer, but it wasn't for me helping big companies get bigger. It just didn't excite or interest me, and I was lucky enough to get out into something else that was, you know, just where I was supposed to be. An awful lot of people, I think, end up in jobs and careers that they don't particularly enjoy, and I was lucky enough to get out and do something where I really can make a difference in people's lives, which is, you know, what I wanted to do, and which is a huge privilege, I think.
Yes, definitely. So in your current position, who do you view your stakeholders to be?
Oh, I mean, in any organisation like the Red Cross, we have a whole multiplicity of stakeholders. Obviously, the most important are our beneficiaries and the ones we seek to serve. And, you know, it's a constant challenge juggling the respective needs of the different groups of beneficiaries that we have, you know, trying to work out priorities and who should we serve and how can we best serve them. And there's never enough money to do that. Well, which brings in, of course, the second group of beneficiaries, which is our donors. You know, an incredibly important group. We raise and spend something like £200 million a year here at the British Red Cross. Most of that money is given by generous individuals, corporations, trusts, and so on. And, you know, they expect value for money. They expect to see the Red Cross doing great things, and we try not to disappoint them. So they're a second very important group. Third incredibly important group, of course, are our volunteers. Well, and our staff, but perhaps particularly our volunteers, because they give their time for nothing. And, you know, one of the great differences running an organisation like this compared to running a commercial organisation is that you can't really boss volunteers about. You have to get their trust and confidence, and you have, if you're going to make changes in an organisation, you have to make them with due respect for the volunteers and make sure that you really take them along with you.
What is your biggest leadership challenge in times of business as usual?
Well, I think that task of prioritising has got to be one of them. You know, that's ultimately the main job of the CEO, is to set the priorities and then make sure they are followed. Hello? I think, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. There's always scarce resources, so you're juggling scarce resources and you're always working hard to get new resources. And I think, I have a thing here that I say, we're all fundraisers in the Red Cross, and I think as Chief Executive, I'm the chief fundraiser. And particularly in times of recession, it's not easy raising that money. And then I think the third challenge, I look at it as a wonderful opportunity, is really keeping the staff and volunteers constantly inspired, constantly focused, constantly passionate and compassionate and excited about the direction we're taking as an organisation. And as Chief Executive, I believe it's really my key role to keep getting the messages out there, keeping people really excited about what they're doing. We thrive on passion here at the Red Cross, and it's my job to keep it pretty well fueled and stoked up.